Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Budget 4x4 Life. Now I've got some pretty exciting news. We now have partnership with Ultragauge Australia. So today I'm going to show you, before you buy the Ultragauge, what it looks like, all the features that it has, so you can make an informed buying decision. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. And by the way, I just saw someone about some merchandise, so we are working on some pretty exciting stuff, and the guy is local. And all I can say is, wow, there's so many things going into printing, and I'm so excited to get that started. So hopefully soon we'll guys have some merchandise on the website. But yeah, let's get into the Ultragauge. Alright guys, so first things first, what is an Ultragauge and why do you need it? Now as you can see, it's a pretty cool small device that literally just plugs into your OBD port, and that's it. So installation is super simple, super easy. Now this thing basically has all the temperatures available for your vehicle. Now the good thing about that is if you're going to be towing or just driving along, you can keep an eye on your temperatures and you'll know exactly what they set at, if your vehicle is starting to overheat, if you lost boost, that sort of thing. So yeah, let me show you exactly what I have on my home screen, and then also all the other temperatures that you have access to. So yeah, this unit will also be available on the website and for Pajeros only at this stage. But if you have another vehicle, just make sure to contact me and I'll see what I can do for you as well. But yeah, let's get into the temperatures and I'll show you everything that we can do. Righto guys, so as you can see, I've got my Ultragauge mounted right here. So in my opinion, that's the perfect position, and it's also strapped to Velcro. So as you can see, I can adjust my settings nice and easily and just literally put it back in place, and there you go. So that's a very effective way. I do sell separate brackets so you can put it on your windscreen. I just feel like over time, if you do live in, let's say, Queensland, where it gets hot all the time and your car is in the sun, it sort of makes the stickiness go away, so it just falls off over time. So in other parts of the country, sure, you can have it, but if you're in warmer climates, just chuck it there, because that is a very good place. Alright, the rain just caught me out, so now you guys are here with me. Hopefully that's alright. So I'm just quickly going to run you through the main screen. Now the first one is your engine temperature. Now this is basically if the car works hard, if it's towing, going through sand, going uphill, that sort of thing, where it works extra hard, the engine temperatures will rise. Now mine usually sits at around the 79-80 degree mark. It's because I have a bigger radiator. I would say the standard Pajeros probably run at around 90 to 100 degrees. I probably wouldn't let the car go over 110 degrees. That's when you start boiling stuff, and that's what I recommend. Just pull over, let the car rest for a bit. So that's pretty good to see the engine temps, just making sure the car runs nice and cool and you're not overheating the engine. The next one is intake temperatures. Now basically that's the temperature coming into your intake. So through the airbox, through the turbo, through the intercooler, and then after the intercooler, that air coming into the engine, that's the intake temperatures, right? So diesels love cooler air. So with my front mount intercooler, my intake temps is around the 40 to 50 mark, sometimes even cooler than that, depending what sort of terrain I'm driving, all that sort of jazz. I see some standard Pajeros going over 100 degrees. That's insane. Imagine standing and getting hit by a 100-degree wind instead of 50. Like 50 is still going to be hot, but 100 degree, man, you're going to die, right? So it's definitely good to either get a front mount intercooler or a standard replacement intercooler, like a bigger one, just to keep that intake temps down. Your car will be more sufficient and efficient as well, using less fuel probably too. So it's good to see your intake temps. This usually is important as well when towing, going up hills. That's sort of where your car is going to work hard, and the higher your intake temps, the higher your engine temps will get because of the air coming into the engine. So it's important to have a look at that to make sure, once again, you're not overheating stuff. The next one is a transmission. Now the Ultragauge is probably one of the few that can actually run your transmission and see the temperatures. This is important for people that tow as well, or for those doing lots of beach driving. Again, never drive in drive, always put your car into manual mode to manually select the gears. You will see on your Ultragauge the difference it is between drive and manual gears, and also never drive in fifth gear on the beach or when you're towing. Once again, you'll see that things get pretty hot, so it's good to see the transmission. Mine is normally at around 70-degree mark, which I think is pretty good. I wouldn't go over 120 maximum. I would definitely, well, even 110. I think that's a bit scary. I get nervous when my car reaches 90 degrees, so that's when I pull over, take things easy, make sure nothing overheats. So that's pretty good to have. The other thing as well is your EGTs, exhaust gas temps. The higher the temps, the more you're going to overheat stuff again. So if your engine is working very hard, and the harder it works, the higher the exhaust temps will be. On average, I set about 80 degrees when I'm driving at 100 kilometers an hour down the highway. That is very good for a Pajero. I think every Nissan owner will be very jealous of us because I think their EGTs is like 300-400, sometimes even 500 when towing. So I don't know how the engine doesn't blow up, but yeah, that is ridiculous amount. I probably wouldn't want to go over 200, to be honest, just to keep safe. But yeah, my car has barely seen 150, even giving it some true descent. So that is very good with the Mitsubishis. And then last but not least is your boost. Now boost is also very important, not only to see the amount of boost you're getting and if everything is working well. It's also good to spot any splits in your intercooler hoses or whether it's blown off. So when I got my car tuned, I drove home and I saw I wasn't getting any boosting, so I knew, well, one of my hoses must have popped off. So I popped up the bonnet and yep, there you go, one of the hoses blew off. So I made it tight and I could see, okay, I'm finally running the right amount of boost again. So that is very handy to know. Sometimes it's only a little split into a intercooler hose that you're not aware of and you're actually losing that boost. So instead of getting, just for example, 20 psi, you're now getting 15 psi boost. So you're not really noticing it, but yeah, if you had the Ultragauge, you would notice it and your car will not be running to its full potential. So yeah, that's basically what I have on my main screen. Let me show you all the other temperatures that you have access to. So when it comes to all the temperatures, I'm just going to try and make it quick because there's so many settings you can do, it's insane. So just take it off my Velcro, you just access the menu at the back, go to the gauges, now you can select your gauges, and there's like 7 pages of gauges that you can have, so like 7 home screens. So that's insane. You can literally watch all the temperatures in the world. That is so cool. Alright, so quickly you can see the coolant temperatures, your RPM, you can see your kilometers per hour, how fast you are driving. You can see the intake air sensors, the throttle position, mass airflow, miles per gallon, kilometers per hour, fuel rail PSI as well. Some people do have that on too. EGR flow, so you can see whether your EGR is still active or not, which is pretty good. You can see your EGTs, your battery voltage, your accelerator pedal position, your throttle position. You can see your transmission temperatures, like the torque converter, the pan. You can even see your EGR as well, how hot it's getting. The boost pressure PSI, which is what we talked about. You can see the torque Newton meters, how much Newton meter your car's putting out. That's pretty good. Your airflow sensor again. Instantaneous kilometers per liter, which is good. Your average kilometers per liter. Your average liter per 100 kilometers an hour, which will be way more accurate than the one on the dash, just by the way. You can even see the kilometers that you traveled. You can see the average liters per hour you used, average kilometers per hour you've driven. You can see the amount of liters used. You can see the instantaneous liters per hour, which is good. The fuel level. So don't trust that gauge as well. You can literally see on here where your liters is at. So that's pretty good in case you're not sure how far you can run to the next servo. Kilometers to empty, there you go. That's great to have. Time to empty, your trip average kilometers an hour, your average liters per 100. Again, you can see that, which is more accurate. The trip liter used, the average liter used per hour. Like, there's so many things you can see, and that's what makes this thing, in my opinion, the best on the market, just because you can see literally everything. That is so nice. Trip average liters per hour, oil kilometers, oil services. You can set up your services. Like, how good is that? And then another good thing about it is as well, you can literally access your trouble code. So if you've got an engine light on, you can let the Ultragauge scan it, and you can see what code it is. You can Google it, and you'll know exactly what is wrong with your car. And the good thing about it is some codes you can even clear. So you can clear the code just so you can get to the next suburb where you can go and fix your car. But luckily you drive a Pajero, so chances are very unlikely. Next up is alarms as well. So that's pretty good. Like, sometimes if you're driving, you completely forget about the temperatures. So you can set up alarms even for every temperature. So if you're on the sand and the alarm goes off at 80 degrees for your transmission, the alarm will start beeping, and you'll see, oh, well, it's getting hot. I better slow down and take it easy. So that's very good. You can even set up alarms that will kick in when you go over a certain temperature, which you can set, by the way. So that is so cool. So as you can see, guys, there's so many things to go through. I can't even get through them all. But yeah, that's the beauty about it. It is very good. And another good thing as well, if you have another product that needs access to the OBD port, I do have a cable on the website as well, which basically goes from 1 to 2. So you can have multiple accessories having access to your OBD port. So yeah, check it out. And yeah, pretty good, isn't it? Alright guys, I actually just arrived home and I forgot to film an outro. So yeah, I am back at home. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Make sure to use the code BGT4x4 and you'll actually save yourself $10 off the retail price. That's for the first week only, guys, so make sure you jump on it if you want to grab yourself one. As always, if you have any questions, make sure to drop it down below. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate all support, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.